Hey guys, so let's talk about vulnerability. Vulnerability is actually a tremendous sign of strength. As David Meltzer says, when I am vulnerable, I really become invulnerable. You see, when I'm vulnerable and I'm living from my heart, I'm living with so much love that I'm not trapped in my ego. I'm not trapped in the non-serving mental programs, which is saying, oh my gosh, am I gonna get hurt? I don't wanna share this with somebody because maybe I'm afraid that they're gonna use it against me. So when we're vulnerable, we are actually invulnerable. You know, after my arrest, I was so worried, I was so concerned. I even went on some job interviews and people said, well, you know, Ryan, we really like you. We know you have a great history in the fitness industry, but what about this arrest? And when that happened, my heart would sink. I would feel so discouraged and so overwhelmed and in many ways so hopeless. But that all started to shift for me when I went into those job interviews and I said, let me tell you what makes me unique. I was arrested. I hit the rock bottom of rock bottom. Everything that I thought that meant the world to me at that time was taken. And now let me tell you what I learned from that. Now let me tell you how I grew from that. And when I went in there and I told my story and I was vulnerable, humble but confident, humble, but at the same time understanding how much I had grown, how I picked myself back up from rock bottom. It was crazy how everything shifted all at once. And so being vulnerable is actually a tremendous sign of strength. And I know that that goes against so much of what we were taught in life, right? I've got to be strong. I've got to be tough. I've got to have my guards up. Having our guards up is not a sign of strength. It's a sign of weakness. And yes, there are times where we need to have our guards up, right? There are times where we need to defend ourselves. But that's not generally what it means to be vulnerable. And that's not generally what it means to be a strong man. It's finding that balance between advocating for yourself, advocating for your family, being strong, and at the same time, knowing how to connect with people, knowing how to speak from the heart and live life from the heart. Because when we can harness both of those energies, wow, life starts to get really, really good in those situations. So when I say vulnerable, that's a little bit more about what I mean about the power of how vulnerability actually makes us stronger and it doesn't make us weaker.